think we can start, Terry. It's streaming.
It's streaming. Oh, I see it. Okay, Becca, I think we're ready to go. Yes?
She already started it.
Usually John Sabatini says something. I didn't know if she needed to, but okay, I see we're live. So I will, unless Becca tells me otherwise, I'm going to start the meeting.
You're all set, Terry.
Great, thank you. All right, I'm Terry Underwood, and this is Thursday night, October 22nd, 7:07, and I'm calling the Northborough Cultural Council meeting to order. And I have something that I have to read first about remote meetings. This open meeting of Northborough Cultural Council is being conducted remotely, consistent with Governor Baker's executive order of March 12th, 2020, due to the current state of emergency in the Commonwealth due to the outbreak of the COVID-19 virus. In order to mitigate the transmission of COVID-19 virus, the town of Northborough has been advised and directed by the Commonwealth to suspend public gatherings, and as such, the governor's order suspends the requirement of the open meeting law to have all meetings in a publicly accessible physical location. All members of Northborough Cultural Council are allowed and encouraged to participate remotely. This order allows Northborough Cultural Council to meet entirely remotely so long as reasonable public access is afforded so the public can follow along with the deliberations of the meeting. The public is encouraged to follow along using the posted agenda unless the chair notes otherwise. Ensuring public access does not ensure public participation unless such participation is required by law. This meeting will not be featuring public comment. Okay, so our do I need to take attendance, or do we jump into the meeting?
We take attendance, Terry.
We do? Okay. Mm-hmm. Thank you. Somebody's got to keep me on track here. Okay. All right. So Selby, Suzanne, and Craig.
I'm here.
Vic.
Yeah.
And Leslie.
Here.
Okay. Thank you, everyone. All right, so first is approval of minutes from 9/24. That feels like forever ago. All right, I'm sure everybody's had a chance to look at the minutes. Thank you very much, Vic. I didn't see any issues. I think you covered it really well. Suzanne, are you raising your hand or? No? Okay. All right. So do we have a motion to approve?
Motion to approve the minutes from the last meeting.
Okay.
I second the motion.
Okay. And all in favor? And so, Bic?
We have to say aye.
Oh, aye. Okay.
You call the roll, Terry?
Yeah. Okay. Vic?
Aye.
Me? Aye. Suzanne?
Aye.
Craig?
Aye.
Leslie?
Aye.
Selby?
Aye.
Okay. So minutes are approved. And yeah, I'm just going across on my screen here on my Hollywood Squares. And treasurer's report. Do you have anything interesting, Craig?
Sure. We have no new grant requests that have come in since our last meeting that I'm aware of. We've had no other expenses that have come through. So there's no change in that matter. I will provide an update on responsibilities. As Selby knows, and she can embellish if necessary, we have a submission due as part of the annual financial audit analysis with the state due on October 31st.
Okay.
And we have that underway with Jason Little from the town financial department. So I've taken all of Jason's information, I've gone through it, it's updated. And there's a couple more steps to keep us on the annual cycle for financial reporting.
Okay, and let me know what I can do. Happy to help. I'd love to have some visibility, just so I understand the process, what looks like normal.
Yeah, so we can take that offline, Terry, as we discussed the last time.
Yes.
Sylvia and I were with you. We'll take this in steps to make you comfortable. There is more that happens in the background, but we got it covered for right now. And
Perfect.
we'll walk you through it whenever you're ready.
Mhm. And it's a very prescribed way of dealing with our budget, prescribed by MCC, basically. We just follow their guidelines.
Yes. Okay. Yeah. I read up as much as I could on the website, and it sounds pretty straightforward. Okay. Next, set the next meeting date. So November. If everybody's prepared to look at their calendars, and I'd like to pick 2 meeting dates. Let's see. Keeping in mind that Thanksgiving will be coming up, so the
Well, our big event is also in November.
yep, November 6th.
Yeah.
Yep, hooray. Do you want to have something like the 5th and the 19th? Would that work for people?
That works if it's not too tight for you, because the production will be released on the 6th. If you're comfortable on the 5th.
Yeah, I was thinking that we don't meet and let you work for the next 2 weeks, right? And then do a post-mortem after the 6th, like maybe the 12th.
Oh, that's a good idea.
And
Oh, I
then,
like that.
and then the 16th is when the grants are due. So we would start meeting after that to do, compile the data and all that stuff. But we run into Thanksgiving, so it may not be until, like, say, December 3rd.
That would be okay.
Yep.
That would be okay. So definitely for November the 12th then, will that work for people?
Yeah.
And then December 3rd. Yeah, I think that makes sense because nobody's going to be doing anything.
I'm going to be I might be tied up. My mother is coming in from Florida, like to live. So
Oh,
I should be okay. I should be
Okay.
okay. It's that whole weekend. So
Which one, Leslie? November or December?
November, that weekend of the 13th, 14th, 15th, I'm going to be getting stuff ready.
okay.
But go ahead, set the appointment, set the date.
Okay. So I'd like to go along with the recommendation. I think that's excellent. More of like a post-mortem. That's a good idea. So November 12th at 7 p.m.
Mhm.
And then skipping way down to December 3rd, which is a Thursday at 7 p.m. Does that still work for everyone?
Yes.
Sure.
Yes.
Okay, perfect. Okay, that's the easy part then. So I will set that up, and I guess if things come up, we can always call another one. But hopefully, yeah, it's just going to be working on the myself and with NCAT on the production.
Will that be a
So
15-minute meeting, Terry, on the 12th, or maybe 30?
yeah, thanks.
30? Okay.
Yeah, might be 35.
Okay.
Okay, I'm trying. I can't say it strongly enough. I'm so appreciative all the time that you guys put in on your own, on the side, in these meetings, and then what we have coming out of this. Craig has talked about the virtual cultural fest. the things that he's looked at, and I know the different teams have given input. So I just want to say out loud to the community, job well done. There's so much local talent here. I'm impressed, continue to be impressed, and make sure that everyone knows that we're doing our best work to make sure that the community is well represented, and we get to show off. We get to show off all this wonderful talent that we have. We have dancing, art, music, groups, solos, all kinds of amazing things. So the community, you're in for an amazing treat. So that will be available. So I'm jumping into the next, the Virtual Cultural Fest. So great segue. I guess I'm going to ask for a report from the dance team. Is there anything, to help me when I'm assembling this? Is there anything that I need to know? Leslie, I see your hand. Oh, you're on mute.
Greg had mentioned that there was 3, like, what's the group?
Oh, Shayla's dance school or something?
When Sylvie and I, not so much Shayla, but the other one, when we went over it, we put them in order of what we liked, but it didn't mean to play all, like I heard, Shalayla, all 3, right, Sylvie?
Yes, Terry and I had a conversation about it, and I told her the names of the two dances that we suggested from Mavi Dance with start and stop times.
Yes.
Because the entire video includes before and after activities, like right before the dance starts and whatnot. So we don't need to have that in the broadcast. And
what about the other dance group? Craig said there was 3, and I didn't think we were going to have all 3 dances play, are we?
Yeah, we picked 2 out of 3, but really, I think Lule Lule was number 1 that we liked. And if you only go with either one, actually, either of the 2s were fine, and we put the timestamps for you. Shayla Dance submitted 1 continuous stream. I didn't really know how to, put timestamps on start and finish time. So I kind of said, here's the dance, there was no separation between dances. It was 1 continuous stream. So, and if you want to include it S's, that's fine too. With Mavi Dance, you have flexibility. You can include both dances or pick one. Either one would be fine.
Yep, they're amazing. They're all amazing, and just really beautiful. And so I'm so pleased that all of this is part of our festival. So there's, as I recall, it's Shayla Dance, and I remember that one being sort of a Bollywood, is what I read on the some of the information, and then Mavi Dance, but there wasn't another dance. I don't recall seeing another dance. Okay, that was it. So that's it. So there's 2. And then from the visual art team, does anybody have anything that I should know about?
Yeah. So I put together 1 Word document to summarize everything for you. So you should print that out as your guide. Okay. I also added the pictures so that you would have reference as to what they are. But the same pictures are in folders, subfolders named Yes. So for each artist, there's a Yes subfolder, which means everything in the Yes subfolder was approved. So when you first open up an artist, like say, Robin Hall, you'll see some pictures, but those aren't the ones. You have to go into the Yes folders. Or just look at the Word document that I put together for you. Now I'll email it directly to you because we're having issues with identifying the right drive where we put things. So I'll send that document to you, and that's the final, like, which items. 1 or 2 of the artists, we like them so much, there's like a dozen pictures.
That's okay.
So, feel free to cut, as but at least those are the approved ones. So any of the sub quantities that you choose out of the 12, let's say, is appropriate.
So I'm not too worried. It's better for me to have extra, because what I'm thinking of, and we'll get down to the music team, but as an example, And then, this is, I guess, for the group, we've kind of discussed how this is going to be set up or how it's going to flow, but having a long piece, which is really helpful. So like the Assabet Valley Master Singers, which Craig is in, is very helpful to have all of this extra artwork, because it's going to do double duty and be really a treat to see. So I'm much happier to have more to choose from.
Okay.
And I guess if I have questions, I'll just put it out to the team. But so far, it's going great. And so I'm just, it's like Legos. I'm moving things around and coming up with how to tell the story, so to speak, and then going to set that up and send it off to NCAT, and they'll put it on their editing software. And there might be some verbiage or something that I'm going to ask for. But I think so far so good. So I don't want to, as Craig says, get down into the weeds too quickly yet. And then, go ahead.
Yeah, sorry. I only have one person who has not returned a contract. Ralph Caputo, because he's an elderly gentleman. And I think he's got issues with his family right now, so he's not able to respond. But when they signed up initially, the same verbiage was on our website, our culture, nccculturefest.org. So I kind of feel like they read through that and agreed to it before they signed up. So are you comfortable? Do you need to vote or anything about anybody who?
I do agree with you that because that verbiage was there, and I think it's there so that people can read through, and then when they submit it, by submitting, they are agreeing to allowing us to use their art and put it up as part of this production. I guess when we can get this, we've got another couple of weeks, hopefully he'll be available to submit that just so we can complete that. So I'm not fearful now, and if there is an issue, we'll deal with it as it comes. Suzanne, I saw your hand first.
I'm still working with him. He only works via phone call, so that's what's been a little delay. Okay. He doesn't respond to email.
Got it. Okay.
Or Facebook.
Okay. Leslie.
Vic, did you get that the bio and the picture that we had discussed from the artist?
I have all the bios, and yes, I have.
You got it. That's
the entire art section is 100% complete,
good.
Minus this one contract.
Okay, because she was going to send it after school.
Yes, so. I've got everything. I've got pictures, bios,
good.
Contracts, all that. So we're in good shape. And David O'Toole, who originally had sent in one, I think he misunderstood what we asked for. He gave me freedom to go to his Facebook site and his website, and I download like a dozen things.
Nice.
And his artwork is a very specific style called Gestalt. So that's what it looks like. It does, and it looks like scribblings, if you will, right? But as you see his series, it makes sense. And I try to pick a couple of ones that are a little bit different from the Gestalt, because he numbers them Gestalt 1, 2, 3, 4, 30, 47, so it's all the same style, but he has a couple pieces that are a little bit different from his norm, so that gives it a variety. Actually, it's looking pretty good.
Okay, yeah. Excellent. I'm really glad that worked out. As you know, I had reached out to him and was trying to encourage him that, more is better. So he responded really well to that. So this is exciting. This is what we want. So it's good. Sylvie.
Terry, in regards to the contracts, we have a contract signed by Mavi Dance, but not from Shayla yet.
Oh.
And Lori is the contact person for them.
Okay. Yeah, I saw that. I was going to ask you about that.
Do we have a bio from them as well, or?
Yes.
Yep. Okay. Okay, so.
Was there a limit number of pictures that people could send? I thought you only wanted like 5 to 6 pictures per person.
We put out no limit.
I don't remember saying that there was a limit. And knowing that, now knowing that we have so much music, more is better. Do you have concerns about one of the artists? Because that's what I was concerned about. I think it's David O'Toole that only had one.
Well, I told one of our artists to send between 5 to 6 because I thought there was a limit.
Okay. I'm concerned about opening it up now. So how about this? Are you concerned, Leslie?
Do you want to touch base with that person and say, if you have more that you love, do you want to, because if it's who I'm thinking of, we did not select all of her work to begin with. So unless she gives us something else that we would put into the production side of it, we've already cut out some of it.
Do you want to reach out to her?
From this morning?
Yes.
Okay. You already cut. Okay, that's fine.
Leslie, are you comfortable reaching out to her?
Yeah,
I
she's free to.
But
it's okay.
Stuff has been cut, and I don't. What if she's?
No, but new stuff could be ones we select, right? So.
Okay.
It's okay.
When are you putting the? No, you know what? It's okay. Well, there's some people that have between that much, right?
Correct. Yeah.
That's fine. That's fine.
There's nobody who's very low, like the one person, but we don't have one anymore. So.
Okay.
That was concerning.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. So as I'm moving things around in the production, do you think she has more? Okay, unknown. Okay. All right. So we'll leave it at that. Move on. And so for the music team, who would like to speak up for the music team? We've been busy. Craig, go for it. Oh, you got to take off the mute.
No, he said to me.
Oh.
We have one song for most people.
Yes.
There are two different people that we might have two. Is everybody okay with that?
Yeah, so whatever works.
Okay.
For me personally, whatever works with the coming together of the 90 minutes.
We may not hit the 90 minutes, as I'm working and moving stuff around. It's going to be close for sure. But I'm not fearful of that. There's within the music, I think there is discussion where there's a family that comes together and then it breaks down. And so I think amongst the music team, the discussion was that, is it going to appear that it's too many you're going to be seeing some of the same people multiple times, like up to 3 times, but as part of different groups. And so I'm going to work to separate that out.
Yes.
So that it spreads it out. So maybe 2 songs here, 2 songs in the middle, and 2 songs toward the end. So it just flows better. And
that's just one young lady.
Yes.
That shows up 3 times.
Correct.
Which she's
very talented and
very talented. It makes you smile to watch her.
Yep.
And if everyone's okay with that.
And that particular act was actually, I covered the school committee meeting for regional last night, and it was even brought up amongst the members, and they're sharing out those videos as well. So there already is an audience, and so I think sharing, they talked about how being happy, and that's what we're trying to portray in this cultural festival, bring about the positivity that we know is there. Okay. Anything else you think that needs to be covered with the music? If I have questions, I'll reach out to individuals. I'm racking my brain to think on the music side, was there anybody that didn't turn in the contract? Are we missing anything? Do I need to follow?
The music side, to my knowledge, the tracking sheet that we have of all artist submissions is up to date.
Okay.
And on that sheet, I believe, we just got some last things in now. I believe we have a contract in place for all the prospective musical artists,
okay,
as well as biomaterial. And then, Vic, I don't know if we want to talk about trying to get pictures, or if we're good with what we got, if we want to try and find some unified format for presenting each of the contributors, and that format includes a picture from everybody. I may have to go back and get a few photographs, but we have a lot. We've got all the biomaterial, just not all the photos.
Yeah, so I have all biomaterials. I'm missing pictures for John Frez, Catherine and Christine's, the duo, and Pat Fodetta. So 3 pictures is about it. I've got the, let me check here on the bios.
So that was Pat Fodetta. What were the other 2?
So Pat Fodetta is a missing picture. Catherine Burmeister and Christine Sen, the duo. I have nothing for either of them, bio or picture. If I'm missing the bio, if the bio is available, like please let me know where I can find that. And then a picture for John Frez.
So I guess I'm kind of posing the question, do we want to try and make sure we have those elements from everybody for uniformity?
Yeah.
It would be nice since they're the only 3 out of 20 who don't have it. But actually the Northborough Garden Club, we're glad, there's no picture there of people. But I mean, if they don't want to, that's okay. But I think a bio would be good, if not a picture.
So
I think it would be important because when we do on the Facebook and stuff, they'll stand out as not having their stuff. And so it will reflect them. It will become a negative, not for NCAT, but for the other medium. It will become an oddity that they're not.
Fair enough. So without getting into too many of the individual artists right now, Terry, maybe we circle back some of the most recent contributors that came to us that were processing all of their information. I think we still need to wrap up then some of these photos and some contracts. So with the agreement of all the committee here, I'll work with you and we'll go back and get all those pieces to the best.
And I've put together like one slide on each person, their bio, their picture, etc. It's looking really nice with the background from our theme. So I'm not sure how we'll use it. I guess that's the next topic. Is this will go on the Facebook side, wherever we're storing the rest of the items that are not in the production. Then it should be sort of like a front pre-slide to every person. So if you're going to talk about Lauren Grace, the slide comes up, they read about it, and they see her materials. Then the next person, Pat Fodetta's bio comes up, then followed by, it kind of like title slide or slide dividers kind of thing.
So at least for the production, just to make it clear, it's not really going to flow well to have like a picture and a bio because...
Oh, no, not for TV.
For yeah,
Facebook.
so just for Facebook. Okay, I just wanted to... Right. So I won't need that, but I definitely want to have everything ready so that we can do this. And then, I guess the discussion needs to happen that on our Facebook, the Facebook piece will have links to things, and then you can look at the individual artist and investigate. And that's what we want. We want to support these people. And, you can explore that way without having to, if you don't want to watch an entire production, you can see what else they have to offer. And that's the idea. And hopefully contact information if maybe somebody wants to buy a painting.
If everybody has a, if they've got a Facebook page or Instagram or their own website.
That's it. Yep.
If they've got one is listed. Yeah.
Excellent.
Vic, can you also just, after this call, give us, if we have any holes or gaps on where we don't have that, which you just described, if they have their own website or any other links, because it seems like that'd be great to include with everything else you described. So if we have any gaps, if you could
let me do a matrix of what's missing for each person, because I'm not like not everybody has like websites, like say Mary Beth Costello, myself, Sana Ayer, it's just not appropriate for us to have one. So it's okay to have it missing, but we can just check off that missing is okay.
At least we can ask.
Yeah.
Yep. And if they want to offer it, or I know for those that are under the age of 18, see if the parent wants to put contact information, but understandable, they may not want to. And so that's their choice. I just want to make sure that it's out there if they want it to be out there. So perfect. Sylvie.
Terry, I was wondering if we are going to reference that we will have additional information and contact info of the artist in our broadcast so people know to visit our Facebook for more details.
I can add that. So you're saying for additional
information on our artists that you've seen, go to like this sort of like the last slide, the one that comes up with all the credits. And these,
Yep, and I'm going to need to make sure. So when I have more of this together, so this is what's going on. I'm working with the pieces of the puzzle, and I'm working with the times, and then I'm writing things up. I'm going to put it all together in a document. And Sylvie had a great idea. Just give access to our drive to my coworker at NCAT, and then label each folder so he knows where to go. I'm going to give him a document and say, pull from this folder and, use from this time to this time. But he'll have the raw footage and he'll be able to cut. And then he's going to put all the parts that are going to, it'll be smooth. And then the final piece there will be that I'm going to request that we preview this to make sure all the spellings are right, that all of the logos, all of the boxes to recognize people have been, are checked off. And I think that's the right way to go. So I just don't have a date on when that will be ready, but I'm going to be pushing hard this week and next week to make sure that all happens.
Okay, we can simplify it even one step further and just create one folder for production. And then you and Dana can work off of that folder.
That might be smoother. Yes, I like that idea. I know in recent histories, I started moving things around and I got myself in trouble with our IT department. So I need to be very careful in what I'm moving around. Thank you, Suzanne. Okay. Yeah, so if there was a temporary blackout, my fault. Sorry. Let's see. Is it as simple? Suzanne, would it be as simple if I'm looking at the page where I see all of the folders, I create one folder, and then can I make a duplicate and then drag a duplicate into that folder? Okay, and that won't disturb anything else. Okay, I just want to make sure. Okay, so at this point, I want to make sure that we've got everybody's stuff in. I know there were some last minute things. I had suspected that they were going to be worth the wait. So I did want to have that because it's such a good representation. A lot of people I've never heard of or seen their things before. So this is exciting for everybody. Yay for the Cultural Council. Okay, so what's next? Anything else on the music side? We're good, right? I just have to follow up with missing bios and pics. And that was at contracts. Was somebody going to, Ralph Caputo, Suzanne, and Shayla Dance, that's Lori. Okay.
And Craig, you said that you have the contract for Catherine Burmeister and Christine Sen. You have that because that was the last thing I saw missing from.
I was trying not to get too specific.
Okay.
But no, we don't.
Okay.
Since that was the most recent submission to us, we don't have all that. And that's what I was saying. Let me coordinate with Terry on how we will get all of that on that last duo.
Pull it in. Okay. And
Terry, on Ralph, he verbally gave me permission. I'm going to try to see if now he's able to maybe send an email, but he was unable to send emails. So, so I will try once again, but he verbally gave it to me, and I will write up an affidavit if need, or a statement if need to say that. But I'm going to try again to get him to email something.
Okay.
He's having some, there's struggles going on.
Okay. Okay. Yes. Okay. Very good. And so moving on to discussing plans for remaining work. Does anyone want to take the first item, layout on the ncculture.org page?
So the intent of this bullet was just that we have not yet discussed, this is almost like a secondary production, right? How do we put together everything that is left over that we did not select for a 90-minute show? How do we put it together? You know, like, are we going to try to do something creative, put it in a flow of music and art? It doesn't have to be really professionally done and not really well cut or whatever, but at least in some kind of a format, or we just put in everybody's files in some kind of layout. Suzanne.
It's totally open for discussion. The original thought was to use the NCAT production and broadcast it, and additionally have layouts of all the people's additional work in visual buttons, folders, some way, and we'll design it on the website, on sites, to put so people can go look further into somebody, but to follow the format that Terry and Dana make, and then just allow it to be expanded on individuals' desires. We can map out, once Terry is done and all the stuff is finished, Lori and I can sit down and draw up some preliminary options and then post them to the group to see what the group thinks are ways to do it. We have time to do that once Terry is finished and there's time, and then you guys can choose and say, I like this, I don't like that, it's too much this, it's too much that. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I just want to recap what I'm hearing. So with NCAT, I work on the production, and then for the for our own, well, Facebook, but also, are you thinking of taking the production and then slicing it up into sections for the artist, or to take all of their work? Okay.
So I was going to add, we took, everybody is in our video, all the musicians. Why do we have to add anything to it?
I think it was more
I think we should just play it as is.
No.
Yes,
you're misunderstanding, Leslie. That's not what we're saying.
So it would play as is.
Right.
But additionally, we would have bios showing
underneath
the video on flats of the people. We'd have links to their additional work. We'd say, we'd maybe blow off to a person who is has their own channels to show stuff, to their CDs or their galleries. We would, while it's playing or after it's done playing, we'll mark up some options, technology, design wise, and then we can all, have a say in we can mark up what's possible and some ideas that we've already talked about. Mm-hmm. And then you guys can vote and change it and give it.
That's what I was going to suggest. We don't try and design that tonight here on this call. Yeah. Just like everything else, let's see who wants to work on that sub team, because we've got so much wonderful material and we've received so many great things from all these contributors. As Suzanne says, we got a little bit of time. Let's just get a different sub team, and man, they can go to town with the power of technology and all of this great stuff that we can promote the artists. Yeah. Let's just, pick that sub team and they can get together some concepts, and we can knock this one out of the park too.
And we might even just, just storyboard some concepts. Lori and I were talking through it originally. We can just storyboard some concepts before we code, because, it's no fun to code 8 times. And then, we can just look at the storyboarding of concepts, and people can provide input and make changes. Okay.
So
but
what
no way would we take apart, Terry, the film that you make, the broadcast stuff. That's just
okay. So at least for our own website, eventually what I see is, because what I see would be a really nice way to go about this, because I don't know all of the coding and any of that part, but I do know how fun it would be from the user's perspective. Hey, I want to see some local art. Like, you're right, press a button and it becomes, the NCC site becomes like a library of all of the talent in the area, whether it's the dancing, the music, the art. And then, yes, maybe some of the people will move away or something over time, but I think it can become a great resource, not just for the community and the artists themselves, maybe like a meet and greet, but I have used the resources from the MCC to go look at other cultural councils to see what they're doing. And some of them are not as simple to use. And, you know, so we can learn from that too. So, yes. Okay, so that's Selvi.
Just wanted to say Suzanne and Lori are so creative that they'll be bringing us, like Craig said, something out of the park to post on our social media or any, you know, town website or wherever it may be. And I look forward to seeing that in addition to the production.
Yes. Yep. Just for the Culture Fest. Yes. So, okay. Jumping down to the next thing, unless anybody has anything else. Talked about, okay, layout on Facebook.
No, so those were all just ideas of the same concept.
Oh,
you can
okay.
down to the next bullet.
Okay, and
that's always.
And then the social media. Okay, yeah. So until I have something to show, I don't have anything to contribute to that. So it's all just in the works. And think of it as like a bunch of a puzzle. And you know, you've got the trees together, and then you've got the maybe the pond together. So now I'm figuring out how to move all this stuff around, and you know, it's fun right now moving all of that. So okay. And so one of the items here is discuss the ways in which people can watch the NCAT production. So yes, that should be mentioned. So the premiere will be on Friday, November 6th at 7 o'clock. And then again on Saturday and Sunday on the public station. And that will be at 2 o'clock on Saturday and Sunday. And I don't know the numbers on the channel right off the top of my head, but for Verizon and Charter, it's different. But it will be on the public channel, and those are easily found through the Northborough cable TV station and also through the town website. So that will be a really nice resource. Vic.
So we already had a question. Somebody does not have cable. They would like to watch it. So that's what this question means. If you don't have cable, how are we going, you know, how else can we distribute our production? How do we get it out there?
You mean, okay, like a TV box, because I don't either.
Or like a really big MP4. I don't know what.
You know. So you are able to go on your computer, and you are, I think it will be on YouTube. The production will be on YouTube. You'll be able to call it the Northborough Virtual Cultural Fest 2020. But through NCAT, they have their own YouTube channel that they have all of their productions. So you should be able to, anybody, you know, this is the World Wide Web.
Get those links. We should get those links and somehow add it to our Facebook link and say, if you didn't see it on TV Friday, Saturday, or Sunday, you can go find it here on YouTube. I mean, just give them the link. you know,
Yep, it's that easy. So, you know, when it comes time for Thanksgiving and what are you thankful for that month? And we're thankful for the arts. As Selvi put it so well, you can share these things and you get to see cousin so-and-so and all of the great things that they've been doing throughout the year. And, you know, can you just see it now if people are sharing Thanksgiving and they have a big screen TV and they get to see a relative playing some beautiful music or dancing or something, you know, what a wonderful thing. Yay for technology. Let's see.
Can we post on the town's website? How would that look? What kind of a file do we post on the town website to let people know?
We can ask, or maybe we can ask Recreation to send out the link in their community emails.
Another resource, I think, would be one of the IT people in the town, John Sabatini. He's been a great resource to ask questions of. There might be something where, because they like to post all of the current events and things going on in the town, so that might be an option. I'm not sure, but I think that sounds like a definite possibility on that. Good thinking. Okay, and then we have an administrative need to cover to do with the Culture Fest, where we need space and file storage. So I guess I'm looking for a motion from the group to a motion and a second to go ahead and do this and use this from our administrative fund so that we can have storage for all of this great art. Suzanne? Oh, you're on mute.
I motion that we set aside in the budget up to $100 for use for storage and other technology things to assist with Culture Fest productions.
Okay, we have that. Do we have a second?
I'll second that motion.
And Leslie, second. And we need to take a vote. Okay, I'm going across the board. Bick?
Yes, I approve.
Okay, and Suzanne, that was your motion, yes?
Yes.
And Leslie? Yes, and Selvi?
Yes, much needed.
Much needed, yes, agreed. And Craig?
Yes.
And yes, and so it's unanimous. So please, IT team, please purchase us some much needed space. It would be horrible if we started losing all this great art. Can't. Okay, next, the 2021 grant process. Yes.
I'm sorry, before we move on, I know that I want to bring up the publicity for our event, and it's going to tie into grant cycle. Vic, can you refresh our memory of what we've done already? And then I think at some point we wanted to talk about a second wave, and we'd love to hear ideas about what else can we do to kind of refresh everybody's memory and give them information on this.
Can I just ask, are we talking about the grant cycle or are we still talking about virtual Culture Fest?
I think we should do virtual Culture Fest first. And then when we talk about the grant cycle, we'll have to talk about possibly about it again. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I don't know how to call it it wasn't an article like written out in paragraphs, but it was a
almost like an ad.
Press release,
an
right?
ad.
Press release.
Yeah, a press release, but in the form of an ad, not like a written document, I suppose. So that was created for both the Culture Fest and the grant. They were both simultaneously sent to the following: Action Unlimited, Community Advocate, it's just called a Telegram, I think the Worcester Telegram, Metro West Daily News, Wicked Local, The Villager, the Rec Department, the Northborough Guide. It was also a shorter version, 2 sentences for the Lion Sign, and the Northborough Patch, and also NCAT, the Library Director, the Senior Center, uploaded to our own website as part of the town website, so sent to John Sabatini and to Julianne Hirsch to notify the selectmen, the Board of Selectmen on our behalf, which she is either going to do or has done, but she's contacted me about it. So I feel like she's either, I don't know when they meet, but she may have already done it. So all those, that list that I just said was already sent out. The first week of October, that was around the October 8th or 9th.
Thank you. And I know that we mentioned we need a second wave of publicity because time just seems to be a lot longer these days with everything going on in everybody's life. So I know that there are always ideas. So is there anything else we can do?
Yeah, well, so I guess my question was, what about social media? That's an awesome list, Vic.
Oh, I'm sorry. And then it went up to our own Facebook site. Two postings for the 2 events on our Facebook site. I know I personally shared it with my own Facebook site. I think I can't remember if I did Instagram. We have an Instagram account too. I may have missed that one. So
I'm just trying to think, how do we get some buzz going on this? You know, I fully appreciate all of the standard press releases and stuff like that, but you know, how do we get people talking, and how do we, you know, get some momentum and excitement going on about this by getting it in the right Facebook groups? You know, just we have a good comprehensive covering of all the town Facebook groups? Are we reaching out to the right influencers?
Yeah, it went to Northborough Moms as well. I keep on forgetting. So the more you talk, the more I can remember what I sent out.
That's the big one.
We talk about it during recess time.
You did?
Recess.
So Leslie's school is all going to be tuned in.
One of our artists is there, and I tell everybody, "Oh,
good deal.
Good deal. Yes, that kind of buzz, you know. How do we?
The kids are all excited.
The hardest part for me is not to have community interaction we normally have during our live culture fests, you know, because that brings a different level of energy, directly connects the artists to our community. So if there's any way of us publicizing this event again, but making community feel like they're part of it and contributing to the event, even if it's just they express what they're thankful for. I don't know if we can, you know, I haven't been on social media a lot, if any, lately, but if, you know, if we have members who are and maybe like engages our community, what are you thankful for? You know, we're thankful for the arts. What are you thankful for, et cetera, et cetera. We may be even able to add those responses on our Facebook part of this Culture Fest, where we will have additional information. I don't know. I'm just spinning my wheels. I mean, it would be great to say, Northborough, let's have a watch party, and you know,
that's
tune into your.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You know, maybe we keep brainstorming this one and work it offline as well, but just trying to get that excitement going.
I know of a particular Boy Scout troop.
Absolutely. So that's what I'm saying. I mean, I'll cover Northborough dads, and you know, there's scouting Facebook pages, and there's all kinds of attachments we all have into the community, either individually or different ways. And so I'm just, you know, brainstorming here.
This is fabulous.
So Terry, would you be able to plant those little videos of people saying what they're thankful? Is that what you're saying, Sylvia? Like in between, like I could ask my principal, who's a part of the community, you know, maybe go to another principal and say, record her just saying what she's thankful. Is that what you want? Sylvia, you had mentioned this before about having that.
I know. I'm really looking for a way to have the community participate in this too. You know, our everybody who lives in Northborough to feel like they're part of it too, which they normally would have had the opportunity to come to our site to experience it. But yeah, maybe, but I don't know. I am not, I don't know anything about the production, so I don't want to impose something that may not be possible, so I don't know. Terry can maybe guide us what's possible, what's not possible to add within that 90 minutes. And if it's not possible, then the secondary option of having these videos maybe be compiled on our Facebook. Like, it could just be like a 2-minute thing. The 2-minute video can actually have a lot of messages, so it's quite long. You can have
so Selby, I didn't realize you wanted video, but I asked all of the artists for a one-liner, and they are incorporated in the bio sheets. So anybody who gave them to me, if I didn't ask them like 3 times, I couldn't remember who I asked. I have some, but I didn't contact the musicians for that because.
So interesting. So it would be very difficult for me to try and capture all of that from individuals, but I'm wondering if some of that were put up on a slide, a line that says, I'm thankful for, and then maybe there's the idea of where I capture something on a Zoom meeting or something and incorporate it from each one of us, because I'm also thinking that it's also important for the community to know that we're part of the community, and this is your cultural council, and come join us. Come to the events. What kind of events do you want? Anything. And so I think creating this buzz somehow, I have to think about this, but even if it comes from us, and if I capture it via a Zoom from each of us, because you're right, with COVID, normally I would be looking to take the information about the grant cycle and the cultural fest, and then bringing it to like a coffee shop or places where people would be sitting down to eat, and on a bulletin board, and people aren't doing that anymore. So there's a way around it. We just have to figure this out and be smart. But I love the idea of thankful for something. So
Suzanne, I'm sorry, Terry.
Go ahead.
Suzanne, I wasn't sure if you were the one who created the Instagram account for us, and if you have information on it. I know that maybe we can tie the publicity with a thankfulness message. I know people do. I have 0 posts, I think, on Instagram, even though I have an account, but I know people do very creative things there too. So maybe we can connect this interaction with our publicity to build momentum.
Yeah, but the Instagram is just a picture. You know what I was thinking? It's TikTok. That's where you wanted something to be seen. It's kind of scary to get on that thing, but if we can do a quick 30-second video somehow, that's really what you want. Like Facebook and Instagram is so old-fashioned nowadays. I don't know, you want to really get the audience, right?
Instagram's, still, so we could, if people wanted to share their words, and we could type them with your photo.
Yes.
But TikTok is the place to do the snippets of video.
Yeah. I think Sally wanted the video. I think it'd be nice to have people talk, but I don't know how to pull that off.
Okay, so I might have to show some of this right now. My head is so deep into the video, but I really like what's coming out of this.
Okay. We'll think about it. We'll figure it out.
So cool. I wish we had an unlimited budget and oodles of time, because this is fabulous. Let's see. So there are no submissions yet that I recall. Are there? For the grant for the 2021? Are there? No. Okay, so that sounds like a no.
I know my principal is thinking about using it.
Mm-hmm.
She asked me a question.
Good. Okay.
So they go to a submission site. They log in as a grant applicant. That takes them to a submission site. And we get a book of all the submissions
Okay.
when the grant cycle closes. So we get like all the information, who submitted when, how. So we used to have access to that grant application site, and we were able to see how many applications we were getting, but I don't have access anymore. So we may need to get you access, Terry. Email Louis to see if
So
you can get access.
So you're saying that at one point in time?
Yeah, even last year. There's this out, the back application software where the local cultural councils and MCC has the capacity to log on to see the back end of the applications coming in. And they're downloadable, and you can download tables and everything. So which is how we used to kind of put everything together. And so I can look into that with Louise and get you information if that's still available. I don't know if they changed that or not, but so you have to switch that to you.
I was looking around on the site. I definitely did not see anything like that.
It's not publicized. Like you would get a username, the specific website to go to, and a password to get into.
Okay. Yeah, because I've been through all the material on that site to really get a sense of what the state is asking for, what the state is looking for, and then what all the cultural councils are doing. And I definitely did not come across that. That is cool.
You can see all the past submissions, applications, from all of the local cultural councils. That's public information. We just can't see the new ones that are coming in yet.
Okay. Interesting. Okay. All right, I have to think about that. All right. So there's no response to that yet because they would be doing it through the state website, and we just wouldn't have that information yet. But so it's just up to us to really just keep pursuing people however we can. Okay. I just want to make sure I'm not missing a step.
No, I think if you could send that note out to the past participants, like I mentioned to you. Then
yes, thank you.
That'd be.
That's a huge, because maybe people are still doing.
This year, the deadline for applications is November 15th, and MCC normally publishes the book for each local cultural council in about 7 to 10 days after application window closes. So it becomes available this year. Probably is going to become available by Thanksgiving or probably right after Thanksgiving.
Okay.
Or December 3rd meeting.
Oh yeah, December 5th. Yeah, exactly, after Thanksgiving for sure. Yeah.
Okay. All right. All right.
One thing you and Craig have to do is to meet with Jason Little and consolidate this year's budget to move forward with next year's FY 2021. If you haven't done that already, Craig.
Which meeting are you talking about, though?
The meeting that usually you, me, and Jason have to do the first part of the annual report.
That's what I addressed earlier at the treasurer's report. Jason provided all that information, and I've updated MCC.
Perfect. Thank you so much.
So, okay, good. It's not something different and more for me.
There's still a second meeting, Terry, though. Don't worry.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Don't leave me out. Okay. Is there any other business before the board? I mean, I've just been really consumed with the virtual cultural festival, so I don't want to miss anything. Oh, Sylvie, yes.
It's not any other business, but I just wanted to check with you and our treasurer, Craig. I made a list of all the outstanding grants that we have not, received reimbursement requests from yet. And we also have not received any modification or extension requests per the new pandemic guidelines. So I think we should kind of compare our lists to see, yes, these people we haven't heard from, and then reach out to them, before November 15th, because it would be helpful to know if we can push this granting money to the next year's budget.
It would be a nice proactive step to reach out to the artists and keep trying to promote the culture. So yeah, definitely.
Yeah. That's just like a side work between treasurer and you, and if you want me involved, I can be involved too.
Yes.
I think we have the same master list, Selby, so it should be pretty straightforward just to see who still hasn't submitted yet. And as you said, let's just drop them a line, reach out to them and say, hey, we're still here, and see what their situation is.
Perfect, thank you.
Yes, okay. All right, is there anything that I should be doing on that other than, so just with this list, so is this like this is like a working group issue or item? Okay, all right.
It's usually the treasurer and the chair to follow up on.
Okay.
So you two are it.
Okay.
Right.
All right. Okay. So is there any other future agenda that you can think of? I know it's probably going to be a lot about the virtual cultural fest. Figure out what went right, what didn't go right.
I wonder if there's a way to put out a survey after we show it. Like, what did you think? Like 5 questions, like, I don't know.
It would have to be on social media, but yeah, we could do that. Oh, and on the town website, because that's how the other one.
Yeah. Did you watch our, well, even if they didn't watch it on that day, we have a link for them to rewatch if they'd like. They can speed through it. They don't have to sit there for 90 minutes, but they may be like, oh, look at this. It's pretty, if I had time, I'll watch all of it. But from what I'm seeing, I like it or I don't like it, and they can give some feedback.
Oh, yeah, because we do want, that means we get more people to watch it.
Nick, thank you for the reminder. I don't know if you guys remember, but we are supposed to submit a report on our cultural council originated event, which in this case is our Culture Fest. And some of the pieces, we were taking data of how many people attended our event and whatnot, right? So all that information was for our report to MCC for our own events. So it would be nice. It would be a nice data to present. And then we can look at how many people watched on YouTube. I don't know if there's a way of gauging how many people have tuned into NCAT channel or whatnot. But we do have a report, and it comes, it's a template that we received from MCC that we're supposed to fill out and return.
Yeah, we can definitely count the number of hits on Facebook. But aside from that, I mean, the NCAT one, would be interested to know if there's some way to know viewership.
And data and survey are also part of that report, so that's great.
What do you think? Is there such a mechanism to find out whether, how many people tuned in on November 6th, 7th, 8th?
I don't know. I don't know about NCAT because they have a whole different, I'm going to call it an operating system. It's software and hardware, different company. I don't know if there's a way to do that. In Southborough, the other station where I work, there is no way to do it. It's an older system. YouTube has been our most reliable way, but absolutely people will watch something called video on demand, where you can go on that station's site and go through a menu and pick what show you want to watch.
Okay.
I'm wondering if there's a counter on something like that, and I can ask about that because I don't know.
Could we add a link somewhere asking, did you watch, like a link at the bottom of the actual presentation that people can link and just let us know they watched it, so we can to say we need to keep count, we have to keep count or word it the right way.
Where do you mean it after our festival?
Well, somewhere at the festival, like even if it's like something like a link they can go to and just click in that they watched. I'm saying if we need to keep track of how many people watched, is there a way of?
Yeah, well, how many people are going to do that, right? They actually have to go log in to because they're watching, not clicking anything. So they have
that's right. They're watching it on TV. You're
right.
right.
Up their phone, logging in, just
they can't.
I mean,
Send them somewhere.
And that's where,
while you're at it, but.
Yeah, that's where YouTube, that's so helpful because you can see how many views. But like when you watch something on TV, there's no way on this end. So I just don't know if their system on their hardware and software, how that works, if there's a way. But that's something I can ask about. That hasn't come up for me before. So something I can ask.
Yes. Through the chair, we can create a Facebook, what is it called, post or comment asking, oh, what was your favorite act, or did you watch it? And if people respond, we can count those responses towards data too.
Yeah,
I'm sure MCC will be
that's what I meant.
Lenient because of this new situation that we're in. Also, this could be a nice agenda item for our next meeting to kind of prepare for the MCC annual report about the Culture Fest.
Okay, I'm just making notes here. Just late breaking news, Craig, I see there, treasurer, there's a message from Jason about the finances and
that's what Sylvie was just mentioning.
Oh, okay.
It's that early on meeting. So Sylvie, we have the code from Jason for the submission.
Perfect. That's the code we need to start working on our financial annual report for MCC. So we give 2 annual reports to MCC, a financial one and one about our Culture Fest.
That's it. Okay. 2 separate. Okay. I don't have anything else to add. So unless anybody else has anything, I'd entertain motion to adjourn.
I'd like to make a motion that we adjourn tonight.
Okay, we have a first.
I have a second. I'll second
Leslie,
that motion.
Okay, and now we have to take, I'm just making notes. Bick.
I agree. Aye.
Suzanne.
Aye.
Craig.
Aye.
Selvi.
Aye.
Leslie.
Aye.
And aye. So we have adjourned and it's 8:20 p.m. And so I guess I need to ask for Becca, our person that's running the meeting. We are adjourned. Thank you to everyone.
You're all set. Good night, everybody.